In today's video, we are going to create some really cool shareable video graphics of your podcast without having to show your face. These are really cool videos that you can put onto any social media platform. This is definitely going to get your creative juices flowing, so let's get to it. Hey, welcome to the Pod Sound School. I'm Studio Steve, crazy podcast guy, an audio engineer, but I also dabble in graphic design, and I love making graphics for our own podcast and YouTube channel and also for clients. So I want to share with you my all-time favorite tool for content creators and podcasters, and that is Canva, specifically Canva Pro. The difference between Canva and Canva Pro is that Canva Pro is a paid membership, but it's really worth it. You get a lot more bells and whistles and a lot more really cool things that you can do to your designs in the paid version of Canva. But even the free version of Canva will get you going and get you already out of the box with some really cool graphics that are really simple to create no matter what your background is in graphic design. So you don't have to be a designer or feel like you're a very artistic person to get some really cool videos specifically to those social media platforms that you can create from your podcast clips or little pieces of audio from your podcast that will entice people not only to come listen to your podcast, but also to follow you there on those social media platforms and help you to build up your following on those platforms there as well, which is really important for our brand and for our podcast. And I know you're going to thank me so much because there are so many of us who joke about having a face for radio, right? We don't like to have our face on camera. I totally get it. I am in that same category. And although at the Pod Sound School, we really urge you, no matter what your insecurities are, to get your face in front of the camera and to start sharing your face with your audience. But if you're not ready to do that, this video is going to be perfect for you. So let's hop right into Canva. Like I mentioned, you can follow along and do this in the free version of Canva, but I also really recommend upgrading to Canva Pro. I also want to say that this video is not sponsored by Canva, although we are huge Canva spokespeople, so we do have an affiliate link for Canva, and I'll leave that in the description below. If you're going to sign up for Canva Pro, you may as well use our affiliate link. That way we get a few pennies, and it helps us to keep this channel going. All right, let's get to it. All right, so before we get into creating really simple video graphics that we can share on any social media platform, first we're gonna need a mock podcast idea. And I wanted to just randomly pick some and create them right here with you so you can see that no matter what the topic of your show is, you can come up with really cool video ideas using Canva. So I just went to randomlists.com where you can just pick random topics. And here we have a lot of just random ideas. Maybe you have a podcast about weaving. Maybe you have a podcast about wrestling. Maybe you have a podcast all about death or clowns or beekeeping. So we'll use some of these ideas. Ooh, disasters, that's interesting. Or barbers or water skiing. All of these could be really cool podcast ideas. And so there'll be great examples that we can move forward with in this presentation. Now, the other thing I want to start with before we get right to creating, and you can skip this if you just look at the timestamps below, is I want to kind of introduce you to Canva. So I'll call this a quick Canva introduction, but really it's just showing you why I think Canva is so awesome. And just a couple things I got to show you that are amazing. In Canva Pro, if you have the Pro version, you're able to create a brand kit by clicking right here in the left-hand side. And you can create a brand kit. You can create many brand kits. So let's see, which one do we want to do? Death or wrestling, beekeeping. So this one is going to be our beekeeping podcast. So how about we call it the Bee's Knees? You can take that idea if you want. So we have the Bee's Knees here. And here you can actually, if you have any logos that you've created, you can upload them here so you can easily drag and drop them into your designs. You can pick fonts that you like and choose different fonts here that you like that you're always going to use. So let's say I just like this one a lot that I always use for my heading. And then under here, and I'm just randomly choosing some. Hopefully you take a little more time with choosing your fonts. And then right here, add a body style. You can have your body font, your heading font, and all these fonts so that you can really use the same fonts in every single one of your designs. And then of course you can add colors and have brand colors that you can use. They have some really cool palettes right out of the box. What happens if I type in bees here? Oh, nothing happens there, but I know yellow is one of my brand colors, so I could always type in yellow, the yellow and black thing for the bee stripes. And look at this, Mellow Barnyard, or maybe Secret Keeper. I like these pinks too. Any of these sort of suggested brand colors here, or these brand packs could be really fun to use. Let's do Secret Keeper. And I might add, instead of this one, I might also add like a nice blue or a blue to it as well too. So now here's my brand color. I can use these colors for all the designs I make. And let's add another pack to it as well too. I'm gonna type in yellow. I'm not really sure I like that. Let's do this Mellow Barnyard. So now I have these colors that I can use no matter where I'm at, and we'll hop into these colors as we put that final touch on the videos we're gonna make. So let's just hop right into making a design. So we'll go to home here, and from the home page of Canva, it's really easy. You just say create design. And here we can just type in the type of design we want to create, or it has these suggested ones right here. Video is already one that's suggested. Instagram story, which can be really cool to have videos on Instagram stories. Instagram post, you can also have videos on your Instagram posts, which is really cool. And those can be up to a minute long. And then Instagram Reels videos. Let's go ahead and make a Reels video. Right now, the Reels are all the rage. And what I love about Reels videos is you can make one video, post it on IG Reels, post it on YouTube Shorts, and also post it to TikTok. So what you'll notice, and this is the same in any type of design you open up in Canva, along the left-hand side, we have these templates that it has that we can start with. And I think these are really cool to start with, especially if you want to just kind of have something go really quick. So when you're thinking about little clips from your podcast that you can share, we're thinking about like good quotes that you say in it, or typically a clip inside the podcast episode that is really particularly interesting part, or that will spark conversation, or that people, you imagine it's going to make them want to come listen to the episode, or it's a cool little statistic that you shared, or a quote that maybe a guest that you interview shared that you could actually use the words as part of your design. And that's a really good place to start. But we're also going to put stock video in as well. So let's say, I'll just look through these. If you can see, they've also put these, Canva has already put these into little categories. We have background videos, but then we have like nonprofit, all results. They also, from all results, they'll have different categories. Right now, it's just all results is kind of popping up. So we can go to that into these all results tab here. And this is just kind of all the different video ideas it has for you. Testimonials, these are really cool, where the fonts, you can see, you just scroll over them to kind of see what they look like. And then there's all these graphics that actually will have video embedded inside of the graphic design, which is really cool. And you can just keep clicking on them until you find one that you like. Now we're going to start with Beekeepers, or the Bee's Knees podcast, which is all about the importance of bees. And we interview everyone that is an expert in bees on our podcast, and it's a really cool podcast. But I don't like the way I look as the host, and I don't ever want to be on camera. So let's see here. So we could start with something like this, and let's say this is a quote about bees. And in here, I could say, here is a really interesting thing about bees. And we'll let that catch up on me. Yep. Here's a really interesting thing about bees. Now this is saying a daily reminder. Maybe this isn't about reminding, so we can just delete that little graphic that's there. And then remember, we already have set aside, because we can build a brand kit, we already have our brand right here. So if we come and just click on top of where it says daily reminder here, we can just click here, and it allows us to change the font to our brand colors. Now, right now I have the brand set to our Pod Sound School brand, but I can change it to the Bee's Knees. And now I'm in the Bee's Knees, and it will have the Bee's Knees fonts right here for me to use just by clicking them in the left-hand side. So here, this would actually be my Cerebri font that I like a lot. Now in the background here, now I can add a video of bees, because it's a bees podcast. What you can do is you just come along here to the left-hand side. I like to call this the toolbar. Here we have our templates, but under that you'll see elements, uploads, photos, text, and videos. Now sometimes you won't see this videos right at first. You'll actually have to go find it. So I'm gonna X out of it just to show you how you could find that. You come down here to where it says more, and in more, right here you have more from Canva, and there's videos right here. You click on videos right there, and it will default to show up for you now. And now we can just search videos by searching for bees. And this is all stock footage that we can use. Notice here we have this little icon. This allows us to set more filters on this videos. And the filter really is just between free and pro. So even on the free version, there's a ton of videos you can use, even if you're just on Canva, the free version of Canva. So I'll just keep it this way, and I'll find some really cool bee footage. This one looks pretty sweet. And we can just, if you click on it, it just brings it into the design, and you can add this in addition to your design. But you can also drag it and drop it into the top corners of the design, and it will auto-fill the entire background of the design. So I'll just grab this one and drop it right there. And there we have some bees flying around, which looks really great. And then of course here I'll say, listen, at Bees Knees Podcast, or whatever thing you want to say there as well. You can move this around. You can change the colors. Now remember, I have something I like to do with my brand, with all of the videos that I make, is I like to make sure that I use the same colors. Even if the designs and the videos are a little bit different in colors, that there's always at least my main color for my brand somewhere in my design. So right here, instead of this saying daily reminder, this could be Bees Knees Podcast. And then we go here and let's see if we want to change it to one of my brand colors. Look, we have the Bees Knees right here, my brand colors that pop right up. And we use this pink color that I always use, or this blue color I always use as part of the Bees Knees. And I bring it nice and big. You can resize things. You can mess with this stuff like crazy. You can adjust any of the colors on any of these designs based off of the template that's already there. And then finally, when you're getting ready for this video to be done, you just press play and you have this really cool animated video. And this could say, here's a really interesting thing about bees. Now, to really take this to the next step would be to include the audio from your podcast itself. Now, this may require a little bit of audio editing on your part. There's a lot of different ways you can do this, or you can just drag and drop your entire podcast episode, the MP3 of your podcast episode, into Canva. Now, you likely know where that podcast MP3 is because you've had to upload it to the podcast directories, right? And if you are editing your podcast episode, now as a good process, if you haven't already been doing so, as you're going through and editing your podcast episode and you find little clips that you think would make for good shareable clips, grab that clip. Maybe you can say, what I like to do is I actually like to save a copy of the podcast episode as I'm editing it. So I'll save a copy and say clips. And that way I can go in there and just kind of delete everything that isn't going to be a clip and just have these clips that are sort of left over. And then you can export just these little 15-second, 30-second, 45-second clips of audio from your podcast. And then you can drag that into Canva. You can also upload your own videos that you make into Canva. So knowing that, one thing you could do is you can make audiograms in another program like Headliner.app, which is also a free solution. They allow you to make a certain amount of audiograms, which is little visual waveforms that react to the audio of your podcast. And you can drag those in, and now you can have actual video files playing, text files playing, animations that you can very easy and quickly customize in Canva playing, and have a little visual audiogram that plays in there as well if you want to take that to the next step. And we have some videos here where I've gone really crazy in Headliner Pro and done some of these more advanced things I'm talking about, and you can check that out right here. But let's just move on and say that I have uploaded the audio. And where you could go there is you come to this uploads part of the tab, and we have images, videos, and then you'll also see up audio. So I actually haven't uploaded any audio myself to Canva yet, but right here you see that I have uploaded a lot of videos to Canva. And that is it. So you upload the audio, you'll drag the audio in here, and then you'll actually be able to preview your video with that audio that you uploaded. You can always hide this if you just want to see this as big as you can by clicking over that arrow that hid that. And now I can preview my video here, and you can see there's a very intuitive timeline. I'm dragging this cursor around, and I can preview what my video looks like. And if I need to make any adjustments, finally, when I'm done, I can say download. And now that I download, it will ask me my file type. And yes, I want this as an MP4 video. So almost all of the platforms, in fact, all of the platforms will support MP4 video. So that's what you want to have it as. And what's really cool about Canva is they usually always suggest the perfect dimensions and file formats and all that, depending on the type of project that you've opened up. In this case, it was an Instagram Reels. And then you can go ahead and say download here, and it will download this. And it takes a little time to process the video, as you can see. So we'll let that finish. And while that's finishing, let's open up another design. So we'll go back to the home page here. And now video performs well on every platform. So why don't we make a Twitter video that we can share as a Twitter post? So then we'll click on Twitter post, and here's the perfect Twitter post dimensions. And in here, we want to make a little video. There are already some video templates that you can see here with Canva. You can also type in video here, I believe. Yes. And now when you just type in video to the templates here inside of this Twitter post option, now it's just going to populate different animated videos and things that it has already set up for us. So let's pick a new subject to make a quick Twitter design. So we have, let's see, wrestling is good. Death is good. Disasters. Which one should we choose here? Barbers. I really like that. A podcast all about barbers. So we could just pick something that looks good for barbers by scrolling down here for what we have in mind. I kind of like this one. Let's see what this looks like. This is really cool. I think this could look really great. And let's just say that this is my font, this yellow and this, but I can change any of this. So I can come here again, and I didn't set up a barbers thing, but I could choose a different font. I could choose something that looks really good with this design, or I can keep it with where this design is at. And I could just press Command Z or Control Z on a PC, and that's the undo. Or you can find the undo and the redo buttons up here. Anything you hover over in Canva will show you the quick key so that you can memorize those and get even faster in Canva. So now I would put something in here that has to do with barbering, and then I would find a barber video. So then again, we come down to videos and we type barber. You could also find hair or whatever that is, and we just pick a cool video. And now we have a cool stock image about, whatever it is that is relevant or similar to our podcast episode. Now, this already is going to be a lot more engaging on the platform than just a regular post that says episode 22 out now, come check it out. Instead, we're creating really cool visuals where we want to spark a conversation, or we want to get people thinking or talking or sharing what we post on social media. And video is a really good way to get going with that. Pretty cool stuff, right? I hope that got your creative juices flowing. Share your design, share your posts with us. Follow us on social media at Pod Sound School. We'd love to see what creative ideas you're coming up with and help you with any questions you might have about content creation, graphic design, or podcasting, which is a specialty of ours. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, giving it a thumbs up here, do so right now. Check in with us each week. We put out really fun and helpful videos to help you take your online presence up a notch. Until next time, happy casting, happy creating, and we'll catch you next week when you check in on our next video.